Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will delve into the swirling drama and unexpected twists set to unfold on Wednesday, May 14th in Port Charles. Get ready for a whirlwind of emotions as incredulous questions are thrown, jaw-dropping responses are delivered, and colossal mistakes loom on the horizon. From Trina Robinson's disbelief to Sonny Corinthos' startling revelations and Carly Spencer's urgent warnings, this episode promises to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. Add to that Anna Devane's stern counsel, Curtis Ashford's emotionally charged confessions, and Tracy Quartermain's secretive mission, and you've got a recipe for must-see TV. Let's break down the key moments and explore the intricate web of relationships and secrets that define life in this iconic town. Trina Sitt's shocking question and family tensions. First up, Trina Robinson finds herself grappling with disbelief as she confronts her mother, Portia Robinson, with a question that cuts straight to the heart of family loyalty. You really expect Dad to reconcile with Drew Kane after everything he's done? Trina's tone is thick with astonishment, her eyes searching for some hidden rationale behind her mother's stance. The tension between Portia and Curtis Ashford has been simmering for weeks, ever since a heated disagreement at the hospital over a damaging article about Drew that Curtis had planned to publish through Aurora Media. Portia, in her attempt to keep the peace, persuaded Curtis to hold off, believing that stirring the pot could worsen an already volatile situation. But Trina isn't buying it. She's seen Drew's transformation from a revered Navy SEAL hero to a man whose actions reek of political corruption and ruthless ambition. Though Drew once risked everything to save Willow Corinthos by rescuing Liesl Obrecht from the clutches of Victor Cassadine, Trina can't shake the feeling that the man they once admired is long gone, replaced by someone far more dangerous. This family rift deepens as Trina wrestles with her own sense of justice. How can they forgive someone who seems to have abandoned all honor? Anna's firm warning to Emma amidst sabotage suspicions. Meanwhile, Anna Devane steps into a mentor role with a heavy dose of tough love as she addresses Emma Scorpio Drake's latest predicament. You cannot throw around accusations like this without solid proof. Anna's voice is laced with authority, her years as a seasoned investigator shining through as she cautions Emma against reckless claims. Emma, still reeling from losing her coveted position under Professor Henry Dalton, is convinced that her work was sabotaged. She's been vocal about the mysterious disappearance of her flash drive at the beach, only to find that the data presented to the professor wasn't her own. Whispers around town suggest that her rival, Jocelyn Jacks, might have secured the position in her place, fueling Emma's suspicions that Jocelyn may have tampered with or swapped the drive. While the theory isn't entirely far-fetched, Jocelyn has been known to play hardball. Anna reminds Emma that suspicion alone isn't enough. Making such a claim without evidence is akin to convicting someone on a hunch, and Anna, with her storied career in law enforcement, knows the damage that can do. Emma's frustration is palpable, but will she heed Anna's advice, or will her quest for justice lead her down a dangerous path of confrontation? Curtis Sistit heartfelt confession and Jordan Sipp's unease. Across town at the dimly lit Black Dog Bar, Curtis Ashford finds himself baring his soul to his ex-wife, Jordan Ashford, in a moment that feels both intimate and fraught with tension. The air between them crackles as Curtis leans in, his voice low, sharing a burden that seems to weigh heavily on his shoulders. Jordan, however, is visibly conflicted, her discomfort growing with every word. "Curtis, I think you'd be better off talking to someone else about this," she interjects, her tone tinged with irritation as she tries to maintain professional boundaries. Though the exact subject of their conversation remains shrouded in mystery, there's a strong possibility it involves Drew Kane, a figure whose recent actions have ripple effects across Port Charles. Jordan, currently deep in an undercover operation that occasionally intersects with Drew, finds herself in a tricky spot. Her personal history with Curtis clashes with the secrecy of her mission. Just days ago, she was in a tense meeting with Tracy Quartermain and the enigmatic Jen Sidwell when Drew unexpectedly appeared, adding another layer of complexity to her role. As Curtis pushes to reconnect, will Jordan hold her ground, or will old feelings blur the lines between past and present? Tracy Sitt's mysterious quest and Jason Fishen's involvement. Over at the Metro Court, Tracy Quartermain is on a mission of her own, enlisting Jason Morgan for a task that promises to unearth long-buried family secrets. With a steely glint in her eye, Tracy confides in Jason about her desire to locate her great-grandson, the child Brooke Lynn Quartermain Chase gave up for adoption years ago during her tumultuous teenage years. Jason, already privy to this hidden chapter of Brooke Lynn's past, listens intently as Tracy hints at a plan that could also benefit the son of one of his closest friends. "I'm prepared to make an offer that could change everything for someone you care about," she says cryptically, leaving Jason and viewers wondering who exactly she's referring to. Is this mysterious friend's son connected to another Port Charles family, perhaps someone tied to Jason's own complicated history with the Corinthos clan? Tracy's determination to reunite her family is admirable, but her methods often skirt ethical lines, raising the question, will this search bring healing, or will it open old wounds that are better left untouched? Sonny Sepp's risky deal and Laura Sipp's disapproval. At the same time, Sonny Corinthos is navigating treacherous waters at his estate, where he hosts Laura Collins for a conversation that takes a darkly pragmatic turn. Sometimes, making a deal with the devil is the only way to get things done, Sonny declares with a grim resolve, discussing his potential sale of valuable peers to the shadowy Jen Sidwell. Laura's face hardens with disapproval. She's no stranger to Sonny's world of moral gray areas, but this feels like a step too far. Sonny tries to reassure her, mentioning that he and Jason are conducting thorough investigations into Sidwell's background, particularly to rule out his involvement in a recent bombing at Sonny's penthouse. Laura, who has already expressed her distrust of Sidwell during a prior conversation with Jordan, finds herself torn. She's more at ease dealing with the devil she knows Sonny than the unknown dangers Sidwell represents. Yet, as the stakes rise, Laura must decide whether to challenge Sonny's dangerous gamble or trust that he has a plan to keep Port Charles safe from this new threat. Carly's urgent warning to Lulu about hidden truths. Finally, Carly Spencer takes center stage with a dire warning for Lulu Spencer, who has been relentlessly digging into a mystery surrounding Dante Falconeri and Brooke Lynn's past. Lulu's detective work has led her to a stunning conclusion. Gio Palmieri, a seemingly unassuming young man in Port Charles, may very well be the son Dante and Brooke Lynn share. Convinced that Dante deserves to know the truth, Lulu is on the verge of spilling everything, but Carly steps in with a firm caution. If this news comes out, it has to come from Brooke Lynn, not you. Carly insists, her voice carrying the weight of someone who's seen the fallout of such revelations before. Having observed Dante and Gio together, Carly herself may have noticed subtle similarities, a shared mannerism, a familiar look in their eyes that hint at a deeper connection. Yet she knows the devastation that could follow if this bombshell is dropped carelessly. Will Lulu respect Carly's plea for discretion, or will her determination to right a perceived wrong shatter the fragile balance of trust among these families? Next, we will dive into the intriguing undercurrents of deception and discovery swirling through Port Charles as Cody Bell stumbles upon a tantalizing clue about Rick Lansing and Ava Jerome's shady dealings. In this latest twist, Cody's knack for sticking his nose where it doesn't belong might just lead him to uncover a scheme that could rock the foundation of several prominent families. With blackmail, hidden truths, and moral dilemmas at play, Cody stands at a crossroads that could define his future in town. From accidental discoveries at a local bar to the potential fallout of his next move, let's explore the layers of drama surrounding Rick and Ava's plot against Alexis Davis and how Cody's involvement might turn everything upside down. Buckle up, General Hospital fans, as we unpack the secrets, schemes, and risky decisions that promise to keep us glued to our screens. Cody Sepp's curious nature leads to a startling find. Cody Bell has never been one to mind his own business in Port Charles, and this time, his penchant for poking around might land him in either a hero spotlight or a world of trouble. Recently, while hanging out at the Brown Dog Bar, Cody stumbled upon a peculiar mix-up that set his instincts on high alert. A bartender, in a moment of distraction, swapped Cody's credit card with one belonging to the cunning duo of Rick Lansing and Ava Jerome. As the bartender handed the card back to Ava with a casual remark about its impressively high credit limit, a limit tied to their mysterious Dolos account, Cody's curiosity was piqued. He watched the exchange with narrowed eyes, sensing that something was off about the pair's financial swagger. Known for their manipulative ways, Rick and Ava aren't exactly the town's most trustworthy residents, and Cody, with his street-smart intuition, immediately smelled a rat. The card mix-up might seem like a small blunder, but in a town like Port Charles, even the tiniest slip can unravel a massive web of deceit. Cody's mind is already racing with questions. What are Rick and Ava funding with such a hefty credit line? And why do they seem so secretive about it? Given his history of jumping into messy situations, sometimes saving the day, sometimes crashing and burning, Cody is poised to dig deeper, potentially setting off a chain reaction no one saw coming. The dark secret behind Rick and Ava Sipp's scheme. What Cody doesn't yet know, but might soon uncover, is the sinister plot Rick and Ava have orchestrated against Alexis Davis, a pillar of the community who's already faced her share of hardships. The devious pair holds damning information over Alexis's head. They've discovered that her daughter, Christina Corinthos Davis, was behind a near-fatal car accident that endangered Rick himself and Elizabeth Baldwin. In true Rick and Ava fashion, they opted not to take this bombshell to the authorities, where justice might have been served through proper channels. Instead, they've twisted the situation to their advantage, using their knowledge as leverage to extort a substantial sum from the vast Cassadine estate, which Alexis has ties to through her family history. Their greed knows no bounds as they squeeze Alexis for every penny, exploiting her maternal instinct to protect Christina at all costs. Their late-night meetings, cryptic phone calls, and lavish spending evidenced by that high-limit Dolos card are all part of their calculated plan to milk this secret for all it's worth. But with Cody now sniffing around, their carefully constructed house of cards could come tumbling down. Will he connect the dots between their flashy transactions at the Brown Dog and the whispers of coercion circulating through town? The stakes couldn't be higher for Rick and Ava, whose reputations for ruthless ambition might finally catch up with them. Cody sips dilemma. Which path will he choose? As Cody pieces together the puzzle of Rick and Ava's behavior, he finds himself at a critical juncture with several paths ahead, each fraught with its own set of consequences. One option is to take the high road and report everything to the police, exposing not only Rick and Ava's blackmail scheme, but also Christina's role in the accident. With his father, Max Scorpio, being a respected figure in law enforcement, Cody has a direct line to the authorities, which could lend credibility to his findings. However, this route seems unlikely, as it would mean betraying people close to him. Cody harbors feelings for Molly Lansing Davis, Christina's sister and Rick's daughter, and turning in her family would almost certainly destroy any chance of a future with her. The emotional fallout would be devastating. Molly's trust in him would shatter, and the ripple effects could alienate him from others in their tight-knit circle. Another possibility is confiding directly in Molly, laying out the facts and letting her decide how to handle her family's mess. But Cody knows this could burden her with an impossible choice between loyalty to her sister and father and her sense of right and wrong. He can already envision the pain in her eyes, the sleepless nights she'd endure wrestling with the truth. Torn between his desire to protect Molly and his instinct to act, Cody faces a moral tug-of-war that could define his character for episodes to come. The risky temptation of blackmailing the blackmailers. Given Cody's track record of making impulsive, often self-serving decisions, there's a strong chance he'll veer down a more dangerous path, turning the tables on Rick and Ava by blackmailing them himself. After all, if they're raking in a fortune from Alexis, why shouldn't he get a cut to keep their secret safe? Picture this. Cody corners Rick at a quiet spot near the docks, a sly grin on his face as he hints at knowing more than he should. I saw that fancy card of yours at the Brown Dog. Care to explain how you're funding your lifestyle, or should I ask around? He might say, watching Rick's facade of confidence crack. Ava, ever the master manipulator, would likely counter with charm or threats, but Cody's seen enough of their games to hold his ground. He'd argue that a small payout could buy his silence, ensuring their scheme stays under wraps. It's a classic Cody move, chasing quick cash or leverage without fully considering the fallout. But this isn't just a game of wits, it's a high-stakes gamble. If Rick and Ava catch wind that Cody's bluffing, or if they decide to retaliate with their own brand of vengeance, he could lose everything. Worse yet, if Molly discovers he stooped to their level, any hope of winning her heart would vanish. Cody's past mistakes, like concealing his true paternity from Mac for so long, should serve as a cautionary tale, but his knack for self-sabotage often clouds his better judgment. Will Cody learn from past mistakes or repeat them? The burning question for fans is whether Cody will finally break the cycle of reckless behavior or fall back into his old, troublesome ways. Hiding his connection to Mac taught him a hard lesson about the cost of secrets, alienation, guilt, and missed opportunities for genuine connection. Yet, time and again, Cody has shown a stubborn streak, opting for shortcuts over integrity when temptation beckons. Blackmailing Rick and Ava might seem like a clever way to outsmart two of Port Charles's most cunning players, but it's a tightrope walk over a pit of consequences. Imagine the scene if Molly overhears a hushed conversation between Cody and Ava at the bar, piecing together his double dealing. The betrayal would cut deep, echoing the pain of past deceptions in her own family. On the other hand, if Cody chooses restraint, perhaps confiding in a trusted ally like Sasha Gilmore for advice, he might navigate this minefield with his integrity intact. Sasha, with her own history of navigating Port Charles's darker corners, could offer a grounding perspective, urging him to think of Molly's feelings above all. As viewers, we're left wondering, Will Cody surprise us with newfound wisdom, or will his impulsive nature lead to another spectacular downfall? Next, we will uncover the gripping developments set to unfold in Port Charles during the week of May 12th, where secrets, heartbreak, and risky decisions promise to shake up the lives of our favorite characters. From Lulu Spencer's bombshell revelation to Carly Spencer, to Willow Corinthos facing a devastating legal blow, and Tracy Quartermaine enlisting Jason Morgan for a deeply personal mission, the drama is at an all-time high. Add to that Sonny Corinthos' dangerous gamble with a shady business deal, and you've got a week packed with emotional turmoil and shocking twists. Let's dive into the intricate details of these storylines, exploring the motivations, hidden connections, and potential consequences that await the residents of Port Charles as relationships are tested and long-buried truths come to light. Lulu's explosive revelation to Carly about Dante's son. Kicking off the week, Lulu Spencer is poised to drop a staggering piece of news on her cousin Carly Spencer in a conversation that could alter family dynamics forever. In a quiet corner of the Metro Court, Lulu's eyes gleam with a mix of certainty and apprehension as she leans in close to Carly. "I've figured it out," she whispers, her voice trembling with the weight of her discovery. "I know who Dante Falconeri's son is. It's Gio Palmieri." This revelation stems from Lulu's recent deep dive into Brooklyn Quartermaine's past, where she learned that Brooklyn had a child out of wedlock with Dante years ago and gave him up for adoption. Previously, when Lulu first shared this secret with Carly, the savvy businesswoman urged her to stay out of it, warning that meddling in such a delicate matter could unleash chaos. But now, with Lulu convinced that Gio, a young man who's been quietly integrated into Port Charles society, is the missing piece of this puzzle, she can't keep silent. Carly's reaction is one of cautious intrigue. She presses Lulu with a pointed question, "Are you absolutely sure about this?" Her tone suggests a mix of doubt and concern, knowing full well the devastation that could follow if this information spreads without confirmation. Has Lulu noticed subtle resemblances between Gio and Dante, perhaps in their shared intense gaze or confident stride? Or is this a reckless guess fueled by her need to uncover the truth? One thing is certain, Carly faces a dilemma. Should she reinforce her earlier advice to let sleeping dogs lie, or support Lulu's quest to reunite a father and son, risking a storm of emotional fallout? Willow Sit's heart-wrenching legal ordeal unfolds. Meanwhile, Willow Corinthos is about to endure a gut-wrenching moment that threatens to upend her carefully rebuilt life. As she goes about her day, perhaps strolling through the park with her children, or grabbing a coffee at Kelly's, a stern-looking stranger approaches with a cold, business-like demeanor. "You've been served," he states flatly, handing her a thick envelope that feels like a lead weight in her hands. Willow's heart sinks as she tears open the document, her eyes scanning legal jargon that hints at a custody battle or some other dire claim against her family. Could this be tied to her complicated past with Nell Benson, whose schemes continue to haunt Willow even from beyond the grave? Or is it a new enemy, perhaps someone from Michael Corinthos' orbit, seeking to challenge her role as a mother? The possibilities are endless, but the pain etched on Willow's face tells a story of raw fear and uncertainty. She's fought tooth and nail for her children, enduring medical crises and personal sacrifices to create a stable home. Now, as she stands frozen on the sidewalk, clutching the papers, the specter of losing everything she holds dear looms large. Will Willow turn to Michael for support, or will this legal ambush reveal cracks in their united front? The coming days promise to test her resilience as she grapples with the horrifying prospect of a court battle that could strip away her family. Tracy's desperate mission for Jason to uncover family secrets. Across town, Tracy Quartermaine is on a relentless quest that pulls Jason Morgan into a deeply personal family matter. In a private meeting at the Quartermaine mansion, Tracy's usual sharp-edged composure softens just enough to reveal her urgency as she fixes Jason with a determined stare. "I need you to find him," she implores, her voice carrying the weight of years of regret and longing. She's referring to Brooklyn Quartermaine's son, a child born out of wedlock during her tumultuous teenage years and given up for adoption, a secret Brooklyn only recently confided to her grandmother. Tracy had initially turned to Lois Cerullo, hoping her old friend would spill details about the boy's whereabouts, but Lois stonewalled her, protective of Brooklyn's privacy. Frustrated but undeterred, Tracy now places her trust in Jason, whose skills as a fixer and investigator make him the perfect candidate for this sensitive task. What Tracy doesn't realize, in a twist of dramatic irony, is that her grandson has been right under her nose for over a year, living among the familiar faces of Port Charles. Could this be Gio Palmieri, the same young man Lulu suspects is Dante's son? Jason, Ever the stoic professional nods in agreement, but carries a flicker of doubt. Digging into adoption records and closed chapters of Brooklyn's life could unearth pain for everyone involved. Will Jason's search bring Tracy the closure she craves, or will it expose secrets that are better left buried in the past? Sonny's risky business deal and Jason's resistance. On the darker side of Port Charles, Sonny Corinthos is ready to roll the dice on a high-stakes decision that could either secure his exit from a dangerous lifestyle or plunge him deeper into peril. In a tense exchange at his office, Sonny faces off with his loyal right-hand man Jason Morgan over a controversial plan to sell his valuable peers to the enigmatic and untrustworthy Jen Sidwell. Sidwell isn't my top pick, Sonny admits with a grimace, his tone heavy with resignation. But it's the only option we've got if I want to step away from this business for good. The peers, a key asset in Sonny's empire, represent both power and a constant target for his enemies, and offloading them could mean a cleaner slate, or so he hopes. Jason, however, isn't sold on the idea. His jaw tightens as he pushes back, his protective instincts flaring. Sidwell's bad news, Sonny. We've got no guarantee he won't use this deal to tighten his grip on Port Charles, he warns, recalling rumors of Sidwell's ruthless dealings in other territories. Sonny's determination to take this chance stems from a deeper desire perhaps to safeguard his family, especially with recent threats looming over his penthouse after a mysterious bombing incident. But Jason's skepticism raises valid fears. Is Sidwell a necessary evil or a wolf in sheep's clothing waiting to exploit Sonny's moment of vulnerability? Their clash of perspectives underscores a rift in their usually unbreakable alliance, leaving viewers to wonder if Sonny's gamble will pay off or cost him everything he's fought to protect. The intersection of secrets and consequences. As the week of May 12th unfolds, the threads of these storylines weave together in a tapestry of intrigue and heartbreak that only General Hospital can deliver. Lulu's certainty about Gio's identity as Dante's son threatens to collide with Tracy's search for Brooklyn's child, potentially sparking a revelation that could unite or divide two powerful families. Imagine the moment Tracy learns that the grandson she's desperate to find has been working at the local diner, laughing with friends at the pier, all while unaware of his true lineage. Meanwhile, Willow's legal nightmare adds a layer of personal anguish, her struggle to protect her children echoing the protective instincts driving Sonny's risky business move. If Willow's battle involves the Corinthos family indirectly, perhaps through a past connection to Nina Reeves, could Sonny's deal with Sidwell provide the leverage or resources she needs to fight back? And as Jason navigates his dual roles as Tracy's investigator and Sonny's consigliere, he stands at the center of these brewing storms, his decisions likely to tip the balance for many lives. Will he uncover Gio's true parentage before Lulu's revelation spreads like wildfire, or will his focus on Sonny's deal distract him from a family crisis in the making? What lies ahead for Port Charles? With each passing day, Port Charles edges closer to revelations that could redefine relationships and rewrite destinies. Will Lulu heed Carly's cautious advice, or will her determination to unveil Gio's connection to Dante ignite a firestorm of conflict with Brooklyn? Can Willow summon the strength to face her legal summons, or will this latest blow fracture her family beyond repair? Is Tracy prepared for the emotional tidal wave that finding her grandson might bring, especially if his identity ties into other long-held secrets? And will Sonny's deal with Sidwell mark a triumphant exit from his mob ties, or drag him and Jason into a new web of danger? These questions hang heavy over the town as alliances shift, loyalties are tested, and the past refuses to stay buried. Don't miss a single episode of General Hospital this week, and keep tuning in to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel for the latest updates on these captivating stories. The drama in Port Charles is just heating up, and we'll be here to guide you through every twist and turn.